2019 saw the release of a cinematic classic with Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which delved into the psyche of a deeply troubled individual who had been ostracized from society and then beaten down at every opportunity for kindness. Natural Born Killers is in some ways a very similar story, but even with all of its shocking violence and admitted depravity, Natural Born Killers manages to go in a surprisingly hopeful and positive direction by the story's conclusion. This is a one-of-a-kind film, a sentimental love story disguised as an anachronistic cocktail for the lost youth of the mid-90s to early 2000s. It's wacky, sadistic, sweet, and utterly charming. Settle in for a thrilling look at Oliver Stone's 1994 cultural landmark, Natural Born Killers.
Stars are coming out. Look up in the brassy sky, and there they are like gloomy pocket change. You bet on something you wish you had 10,000 to bet on. Something where the odds are good. Betting all those stars, you don't win shit, and there is a movie and another movie. At least you know how to
Mickey and Mallory Knox, the protagonists of Natural Born Killers, will be seen differently by two groups of people who watch this film. And while some arrogant cinematic twats would say only Group A gets the film right, I would say even Group B's opinion of the film is valid. The best kind of cinema is subjective and open to interpretation, which is what makes Natural Born Killers such a classic. This is a film you can rewatch over and over again, and each time you're gonna notice some new detail to expand on your current thesis or inspire a whole new theory about the film. While there are endless possibilities regarding the countless theories that the film has inspired, the director Oliver Stone does side with the theory I am going to provide my thesis on. So I'm not saying that makes me right or anything, but it does make me the teacher's pet, and it may make my opinion slightly more valid than yours, but hey, it's not like I'm gonna shoot you if you disagree with me. After all, Natural Born Killers is just a piece of art, and is in no way an endorsement for said violent actions. In fact, as we dissect the film, I think you will be surprised to find that this supposedly nihilistic film is actually against violence and in favor of hope and redemption. Just because a film utilizes over-the-top violence for the sake of entertainment does not mean that film is advocating or endorsing said violence. We are a violent culture, and most of the time, we never bat an eye when we see a hero blowing away some unnamed bad guy. But here, the violence is turned on its head. Because even if most of the victims are bullies, they are not the traditional bad guys that would naturally get applauded for having their heads blown off. Which is why Group B will have written Mickey and Mallory off long before the film's end. However, unlike that group and Charlie Rose, who did not get Oliver Stone's point about love beating the demon, Group A sees Mickey and Mallory as anti-heroes due to the evolution the characters go through by the film's halfway mark. Group A are inspired by who the characters become, not the violence the characters perpetrate throughout the film. Make no mistake, Group A does not see Mickey and Mallory as traditional heroes or as characters to model themselves after. That would be Group Z, and we'll get to them eventually. Group A is inspired by the journey that Mickey and Mallory undertake. In spite of their massive sadistic flaws, these two lovers become legends not for their willingness to commit violence, but for their commitment to leave violence behind. When it comes to Group Z, I'm not sure what movie they watched, if perhaps they only watched the first 30 minutes of the film, or if maybe they just see what they want to see. Sadly, this group is wetter than a Leslie in the gym showers for the violence that Mickey and Mallory commit during the course of the film. Is that the film's fault? No! The film is not that fucked up kid's parent. Sorry, kid. I mean, wanting to murder people is pretty fucked up. Now, that is not to say you are a worthless piece of shit, kid. Far from it. Sadly, your parents, much like Mickey and Mallory's, have made you feel like a worthless piece of shit. And that is because they are the worthless pieces of shit. Now, I know what you're thinking, kid. Then I should just bash my father to death with a tire iron and set my mom on fire! Well, that's fun for like a day. Maybe a day and a half, but after that, the fun's over with. But if you find love, you can have so much more fun rejecting the shitty idea your parents want you to be. Become something they can never be, happy and full of love, just like Mickey and Mallory by the film's end. Murdering your parents is a child's idea of revenge. It seems like a good punishment, and you think, well, I'll get famous and be adored, just like Mickey and Mallory. But those fans are just whores for whatever's trending at the moment. And while some assholes like Wayne Gale might come to interview you in prison, all he truly cares about is his ratings and profits. The news media uses you, and not only you, they use the victims. They profit on the fucked up things we humans do, not so we can understand and move past this immature behavior, but to simply stoke the flames for a cha-ching payday. Gee, I wonder why someone like Charlie Rose hated this film.
He said, let's try new stuff. We're inside a genre that's been done. There's no point in imitating what's been done. Let's try new stuff. Inside the heads of two killers, schizophrenic, hallucinatory, they're on the road, they're nuts. At the beginning of the movie, they're completely nuts. They're maniacs with a human face.
And they're worse at the end.
No, I disagree with you.
Where are they at the end?
I'm talking about style. So
oh, I'm sorry.
We'll
okay,
jump
go
back.
ahead.
It's tough. So the style represents what they see, and each time we don't know what's going to happen next in the first 30 minutes, like their heads. Then, if you remember correctly, when Robert Downey comes into the picture to comment on them,
he plays a tabloid reporter.
Yeah, he plays a guy like Geraldo or Steve Dunleavy, and
Steve Dunleavy's voice. It sounds.
Yeah,
like.
he studied with Steve.
Yeah.
It was very sweet to him. But I love Robin Leach. I think we sort of like he's the king. But when Robert comes in, we change the style of the movie again. We go to a slicked up TV style. And then when we have Tommy Lee Jones comes into the picture as that crazy warden, we go to Tommy Lee's point of view of things. It's a crazy camera there. I mean, he walks down a prison cell, people come up to him, he doesn't hear what they're saying, he throws them away. Mm-hmm. So the picture is always changing style, trying to find not finding the reality of where we are in the 1990s. It is Beavis and Butthead. The end of the movie, I'm not going to tell you, but it's chaos, deliberately so. And the shooting is chaos. And where do they come out? I think the two kids change. The most radical change occurs in the movie. The only major change occurs when they kill a particular person at the halfway point. Mallory, Juliette Lewis, feels terrible about it, and for the first time expresses feelings of regret. She gets off the ride. She gets off the thrill ride.
This is the Indian.
Yeah, this is the Indian, Russell Means.
Right.
She gets off the thrill ride. They get busted shortly thereafter. They go to prison at the halfway point. And in prison, Mickey, played by Woody Harrelson, has feelings of remorse, and he misses Mallory, and he starts to create the feeling that he that love is the most important thing in his life, and he starts to change. And in the interview with Downey, which is sort of based on the Charles Manson interviews, you'll see a character who is honestly fighting between his aggression and his love. And I know you probably don't agree with me, but by the end of the movie, I think that love beats the demon. And I think that the reason Mickey and Mallory emerge as anti-heroes in a sense is because they love each other. And I think it's a love story.
And so that's their saving grace at the end?
It's the only saving grace we got.
They love each other.
I can't say I condone their killing those people, but at least they changed. Which there are three.
And they love each other, and that's the saving grace, that these two people who, this sort of 2 weeks of madness, they love each other, so that's the saving grace?
They love and they will not kill again.
But this is right after they killed.
I can't give away the ending. They kill for one reason only, because it's the only way to escape. Once they've escaped, they will not kill again.
How do we know that?
That's your call when you see the movie, but that's my feeling. And I think love will save the world, and I think love will save the 20th century.
These are interesting ideas. What baffles me in having seen the film and agreeing that it's controversial and it will polarize people is, in a sense, you come away from that saying that there is a redeeming value and these kids now love each other and therefore they're not going to kill again, and somehow there is redemption in that point for these people?
Yes.
At the end of the day, even the most psychotic killer is just a fucked up human being who, more likely than not, did not start out as an evil piece of shit. Something made them that way, and natural-born killers suggests that love can transform them into something new. Maybe that is an overly romantic notion, but maybe that's also why most evil people stay evil. They have no reason not to be evil. Mickey and Mallory go through a spiritual journey after Mickey kills someone who did nothing but help them. It was a drug-induced accident, and it was Mickey's only unintended murder, but it irrevocably changes both Mickey and Mallory. Shortly after that incident, Mickey and Mallory are captured after a brief shootout with the police, who then beat the fuck out of both Mickey and Mallory, well after both of them had surrendered. It is during Mickey and Mallory's time in jail that they are finally separated for an extended period of time, which is what convinces Mickey to stick with his change of heart and to leave their life of crime behind, because he realizes Mallory's love is all that matters. Mickey and Mallory fully commit to this new lifestyle choice after they escape prison and kill a fuck ton of cops in the process, of course. Although, it is important to note that Mickey is not just killing cops willy-nilly. Mickey and Mallory are set to be executed, and Mickey will not let that happen. Once they have made it to safety, they take one last life. Wayne Gale. Wayne had undergone a different sort of change. After seeing his TV crew lit up in an attempt to kill Mickey during the prison escape, Wayne snaps and guns down cops alongside Mickey and Mallory. When they have finally escaped prison, Wayne is shocked that Mickey and Mallory wish to make him their final victim before leaving violence behind for good.
Wait. Time. Cut. That's a fucking joke, right? Come on, don't fucking shoot anyway. I thought during this whole escape thing, they kind of a bond developed between us.
No, not really. You're scum, Wayne. You did it for ratings. You don't give a shit about us or about anybody except yourself. That's why nobody gives a shit about you. That's why helicopters were not deployed.
Wait a minute, you fucking hypocrite. What about the Indian? You said that you were done with killing. You said love beats the demon. You said that love beats the demon!
I am, and it will. It's just that you're the last one, Wayne.
No, man, this fucking kill me.
This is not about you, you egomaniac. I kinda like you.
No.
But if we let you go, we'd be just like everybody else. Killing you and what you represent is a statement. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it's saying, but, you know, Frankenstein killed Dr. Frankenstein. Wayne, have some dignity.
As a camera broadcasts live on a national news program, Wayne is gunned down with multiple shotgun blasts by both Mickey and Mallory Knox. The camera captures the bloody impact of each round like the money shot of a porno. Once Wayne falls down dead and Mickey and Mallory have left the scene, we cut to the live broadcast, which has just shown Wayne's grisly murder in all of its horrific detail, just so the newscaster could give her shocked and horrified response, which of course was broadcast live nationwide and surely played on a loop for weeks, months, and maybe even years to come.
In other news tonight, a bride and groom's wedding reception turned into a nightmare.
My dad. He will
because it would end with sex, and that's all I thought about.
He punched me, he slapped me again.
I just want to say, you know, can we